It's a new year. Maybe you hope to hit the gym, or lay off the carbs, or read more. Valerie Thompson has her own goals. She's headed down under in hopes of breaking a land speed record. I'm Andrew Thien, and this is Beat Check with the Oregonian. Up next, a conversation with one of the world's elite speed racers. Valerie Thompson is the fastest female motorcycle racer in history. While she lives in Arizona, she's the lead driver for a racing team based in Aurora, Oregon, that's headed for Lake Gardner in Australia for a record-breaking attempt in March. Thompson hopes to hit at least 420 miles per hour and set a new world record for a piston-engine, four-wheel driven car. We talked about why she races, what she enjoys about it, and how she's been affected by the death of Jessi Combs, another female daredevil who died in Oregon's Alvord Desert in August. How did you get into this world of speed racing?
Well, in a short story, I had the passion for riding my motorcycle just on the street, and the passion grew from being a little bit with the throttle too much, taking it to the racetrack, and just making lap after lap. And I just fell in love with racing, and I think racing fell in love with me. So we're two peas in a pod.
And when do you remember when your first race, competitive race was?
I do. It was in 2006, and I was going up against another lady in the first round, and to this day I still remember her. Yeah, I don't remember her name, but I remember her and I just going for it.
What do you like about racing?
I love the thrill. I love just being all by myself, and just, I mean, what else is there to think about? You think about the speed, you think about your do's and your don'ts, and your mind is it's kind of nice and clear, like you do yoga.
I think when people think of stock car racing, maybe they can think of, whether it's Dale Earnhardt or, Jeff Gordon or, the old timers, Richard, Petty. You think of different traits that they had that made them, superstars or excel at what they do. What is it with your job? Like, what makes a good racer in this respect?
I did not grow up in the racing industry through my family. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until later in my 30s when I developed the need for speed. My mom, she was also a little racer down South Tacoma way in Tacoma, Washington. Uh-huh. She had a speed demon in her. And I think when I was inside of her tummy, I was taking sticky notes, putting a Post-it notes up there. Okay, do this, do this, do that. So I know that I had the need for speed DNA. I knew that there was something in me, but right after high school, I went and worked in the banking industry for 13 years, got laid off, and that's when I started opening up my life of like, what do I really want to do? And that's how I started riding motorcycles, and then I started traveling in all different states for the motorcycle rallies. I ended up in Arizona, and I said, oh my gosh, if any one place I'm ever going to live, it's going to be here in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah. And you've been there ever since.
And I've been there ever since.
Here in Oregon, we had a tragic incident that happened on the Alvord Desert involving another woman. I guess, did you know Jessi Combs?
Yes.
And when did you hear about her death?
I heard about it the next morning, very early.
Yeah.
And it was by a private, a friend that gave me a text. And I woke my husband up like I was in disbelief that had happened.
Is that something that pops into your mind when you're training or racing?
It's really affected me in some ways, but other ways it's prepared us to be even more safer and to cross the T's, dot the I's extra.
Yeah.
And it's definitely had affected me. Till this day, it still affects me. And
yeah, how would you say it affects you?
It affects me mentally, and it's the what ifs, because I was the former driver of that vehicle, and I spent 8 months with the team, and I know the team. I've sat in that cockpit, I've started it up. It's an amazing, vehicle. And it's built for speed, and it's meant to fly. To be honest,
it looks
it
like
was
a plane.
It was an aircraft, a F-104 Lockheed Starfighter jet. So
The fact that your intimate tie by having sat in that vehicle, one of only a few people really too.
Yep.
Yeah, I imagine that would hit home in a different way.
It did. And, my first thing that I said to myself was, it could have been me. That could have been me. And that's what scares me. Like, we all take chances. I'm taking a chance now. I mean, I've already, the other flip side of it that really hit home was that I did crash at 363 miles per hour in Australia. And I walked away from it. And with her crash, she did not. And I kind of already, I put those two together. She didn't, but I did. So that's what hits hard. Absolutely.
And the fact, I'm wondering, the fact that she was also a female driver, I can't imagine, are there a lot of women who do what you do?
No.
Yeah.
Not in the high speeds.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot of women that are in, racing cars and motorcycles. And, one day they want to be probably as fast as what we're going and how we're pushing the limits. But it really takes unique people to want to go and do this. Yeah. It's not something that you can just pick up and start doing. It's something you have to have your heart and it's passion and the drive and the courage.
Yeah, incredible courage.
Yeah.
A lot of people obviously get the thrill of driving a fast car on the freeway or something like that. But I mean, like, obviously this is way different. Can you describe how your preparation is and like what your mindset's like when you're driving?
It goes from your fitness regimen to, training your brain and your mind to think in real time when you're in the cockpit. So everything has to be in real time. And the preparation that I enjoy, that I do when I am at the track and in race mode is, I love to listen to my music. And
what do you listen to?
Oh boy, some classical music.
Classical music.
It's kind of like a classical hip hop ish.
Okay.
And it just relaxes me, and I kid you not, it just gives me that grr.
Yeah, you got
the grr comes out
because you got to psych yourself up, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to psych yourself up when everybody's nice and calm, and you're supposed to be, kind of calm. But when I get in that cockpit and they strap me in, I let out this big woo, and I do it several times.
Can you describe the vehicle to people who, I don't know if people know what they look like or what exactly you drive?
Well, since we race for, our biggest thing is safety and speed. So we have to build a streamliner, which is very long. Our car streamliner is 43 feet long.
Oh, wow.
It has 2 Dodge Hemi engines, and it's state-of-the-art safety, well-built, and it's just built for speed. Coefficient drag is very lovely.
And it's 4 wheels, right?
And it's 4 wheels.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And does it have, does it have like a gas, a clutch, a brake, or what's?
Yeah, we have some normal stuff.
Okay.
we have some normal stuff as a regular car. We also have parachutes to stop safe.
Right.
We have a lot of safety gear inside, outside, all over the car. The car is just built 100% safety and speed. And that's how a lot of these high-speed race bikes and cars are built for. So,
okay. So
we can't go short on either one.
No kidding. And so this is called the Target 550, right? And
yes.
So that, I think might be obvious to you, but what does the 550 stand for?
The target mile per hour is 550 miles per hour.
And why that speed?
Oh, you just give me chills.
Yeah.
Because I promised my husband I would retire at 200, and then it turned into 300, then it turned into 400, and I've never said 500, but I'll take it.
So what is the fastest that you've gone on 4 wheels?
On 4 wheels, 291. That was in my third attempt. I was just testing in the Target 550 streamliner, and that was just done recently. And in the motorcycle streamliner, I set a land speed record of 328 miles per hour.
What does that feel like?
Oh gosh, that was a hairy ride. It was a very hairy ride, but you're just really numb. Like what I get asked a lot, what do I feel? Mm-hmm. And there is no feeling. It's just like you have a job to do, and there is no room to wiggle for any mistakes. You get one shot at being perfect.
And what's the, I know here in Oregon we have the Alvord Desert, which is a place that some people do these runs. But was this at Bonneville?
Yeah, I only race at Bonneville now.
Okay.
But I have raced at El Mirage, and in California I've raced on the dirt I've raced. But
so what does Bonneville look like to people who haven't been there before?
Bonneville is a place that is so unique. It is the most amazing place that you can just open up the throttle, go as fast as you want, and it's completely flat. They go, well, it's kind of bumpy out there. It looks bumpy. Well, it is bumpy, but when we have track preparation for days and days ahead, that the sanctioned event that they prepare. So but at night, the stars, everything looks so amazing. So there's a lot of commercials that are actually done out there, a lot of movies that are captured out there on the salt flats. And the only way you can really tell is when you can see the mountains in the background. They have a very unique pattern of the mountain. Okay.
And are you driving toward the mountain?
We're driving with the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So probably not focusing on that when you're driving.
No. And then on one side, I'm driving to the mountain. I use that for my target.
You talked about you only drive at Bonneville or have until you're going down to Australia, which we're going to talk about. But why only at Bonneville?
That's where records are, and sanctioned body events go there to capture history there. So I'm a part of history. I just want a bigger slice.
Let's take a break. Shifting gears a little bit. What do you drive when you're not driving? when you're not driving the Streamliner, what are you driving?
I have the most amazing car, and it's a Bentley, and I love it. It's I do have a Dodge dually truck that I've tooted around for many years, and I love my truck. I love the dually. I love the rumble, but man, I tell you, when I get in that Bentley, it's an older one, we got a really good deal on it, and it's just a great put together car. I know Andy Green, the world's fastest man, 763 miles per hour. He has raced the Bentley on the salt flats here in the United States, and one day I want to, but I don't want to race my own.
So you're headed towards a big attempt.
The biggest attempt of my life.
Yeah. What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, number one, we're trying to accomplish making some safe runs. First is, get out the rustiness about everything, the car, me, make some safe runs. And when we're ready and when the team says, okay, let's go for it, we're going for the record of 417 miles per hour. That has been there for a really long time. So, and whatever mile per hour we can squeeze out of that, we want to set a world record. We'll take it. But our first goal is to go 417 in 2 ways within an hour.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And time goes by and ticks away so quickly. When I end up to actually stopping at the end of my run, we might have a 11-mile track, we might have a 12-mile track. So I start from mile 0, and then at mile 6 is where my official time starts. So I need some speed. I need some miles to get up to that speed.
Okay. And do you deploy the parachutes every race, every run?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right after the end of the one measured mile. Yeah. Those little lovely things are nice. It has a little G-force.
Yeah. Are you pressing a button, or how does that work?
I pull a button. Yeah, I press a button. Okay. I press the button. Yeah. Yep. I have 2 of them.
What are are you experiencing G-forces when that?
Yeah, we have about, over a 1.5 G-force with that. But it's kind of like an unexpected G-force, because when I used to be a drag racer on a motorcycle, the G-force was around 3 G's from leaving the starting line. And this one is like when you pull the parachute, you pull the parachute, but you're still waiting for it because it's so long.
So there's a delay.
There's a delay in it. And then once you realize that, you can feel it. It's quite cool though.
I had the one of those journalistic experiences where there's a big air show here in Hillsboro, and they frequently invite reporters to come test out come on a stunt plane ride, and so I got to experience G's, both positive and negative ones. And,
I've done that too.
And wow, I mean, I fully understood it in that moment of like, oh, this is why people do this, because this is incredibly fun. Like
Incredibly
your whole body
fun.
tingles.
I think our body just relies on adrenaline.
Yeah.
If I don't have any adrenaline, like this coffee I drank this morning, woo.
So is that what it's like for you when you're driving too?
It is.
Yeah. So does it make going back to normal life more difficult, or is it
does.
Are you able to separate the two?
I can separate them.
Yeah.
When I'm in my car, it's like nice and pleasant, and it's a slow world. But when I'm in the bike, or in the car, it's a fast world out there. When I am in real time and I am going 200, 300-ish miles per hour, everything does slow down. And it's so amazing because you can actually remember what your thoughts were. Like, when I got into the crash of 363 miles per hour, it was like, I remember just slow motion when it started. I remember like, okay, hold on. It's going to be a rough ride.
Yeah.
And, bring my arms in, hold them close to my chest.
So you could feel you were losing
So I knew,
control.
yeah. And then after I tipped over and went upside down a few times, I don't remember any of that.
That's terrifying.
It was terrifying to see my husband when he came to me.
Yeah.
And I said, why are you so white? His face was like completely white. And he's like, oh, you think so?
But you walked away from that.
I did. Some big cuts and bruises.
And was this at Bonneville as well?
This is in Australia.
At the same place you're going. Do you have any trepidation mentally about going back there to the same place?
I don't, because I know that I have one of the safest cars in the world. Going from 2 wheels to 4 wheels, it's been a slice of heaven. I love racing this car. It is the most amazing car I've ever been in to race, besides my Bentley.
Yeah.
But that's designed for something else. But this car is just simply amazing. And that working with the teams, that I work with is just great. It's just a great combination. And I'm a great, perfect driver for them.
When things go wrong, I guess what can go wrong when you're driving? I think people can easily think of what can go wrong when you're driving, when you're drag racing, or when you're on a motorcycle. But what can go wrong on the Target 550?
Well, parachutes might not come out. I do have speed brakes on it,
okay.
But those are for when my 400 mile per hour runs go out. And the things that could go wrong is mechanical.
Okay.
Parachutes would be the number one thing I would be deathly afraid of.
No kidding. How many gears does it have?
We have 4 gears.
4 gears. Okay.
Yeah, 4 wonderful long gears. I tell you.
How quickly can you get it up to
full speed?
Full speed.
Oh boy. I'd be in 4th gear. I'd probably be a good 400. The car's been 385 miles per hour by the former driver, Les Davenport. So he's had some rumbling in there.
Yeah.
It's not smooth. It's pretty. You're bouncing around in there.
Yeah, it's not the Bentley.
We have no suspension, by the way.
Oh wow!
No, don't you feel sorry for me?
I do actually.
That's why I love running the Bentley.
Yeah. So you're not sitting. You're rocking all around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm rocking a bit, and the car does kind of flex a bit, When we were in the 291 mile per hour range at the Salt Flats, and I went 291 in the 2 mile and a quarter mile, and that was pretty bouncy in there. And we have it on video how you can just see the car flexing,
wow.
lifting up from the ground and coming back down.
We've talked about a bunch of different speed targets before, but and when you say the world, and forgive my ignorance on this, but when you say the world's fastest man, is that an internal combustion engine, or is that like one of the kind of like a jet?
That's a jet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and you're shooting for internal combustion engine,
piston engine car,
4 wheels.
Yes.
The record is
417 miles per hour.
417. So, and that's what you're setting.
Yeah.
You're hoping to break.
Which I know we can do that. Very easy.
And the record for 2 wheels is
376 miles per hour.
A lot of numbers, but
there's a lot of numbers. They're the most important numbers in the world. Is all those numbers.
Do you think about those numbers a lot?
Yeah.
We talked about Bonneville and kind of what it looks like and where it is. Describe the place in Australia. Where exactly?
It's just as beautiful. It's South Australia, Lake Gardner.
What will you be thinking about when you're driving down that road and approaching your race site?
Boy, it's I got a big job. I got some shoes to fill down there, and I got to make a comeback. Had many setbacks, but I'm having a great comeback.
Valerie, what else should I have asked you? Or do you want people to know about your team and your attempt and what you're trying to do?
Well, I have two amazing teams, and I'm focusing on the Target 550 team while this bike streamliner is being rebuilt. So we've been in the process of doing that. So that project is a little bit on hold, but so now my focus is on the Target 550 and to bring home the land speed record and to set a world record. So with that being said, we're creating a GoFundMe page, which is on my website. We just posted it, I think, yesterday. And so, we need help. We need donations to help us, grow that extra mile per hour.
You need money to help, just to help the team.
We need sponsors. Yeah. We're reaching out for the people that love what we do, and those people. If you love what we do, please donate. Please help us in any way you can.
Well, one thing I wanted to ask you, we talked about Jessi Combs earlier, but how many people are out there trying to set records? Like, how do you? There can you give a sense of this community, the world of people trying to set records? It's a
huge racing community and the land speed racing efforts. And I have to say is that I know that with my streamliner efforts that I don't think that there's one other female that is going for what I'm going for. So I'm just one in the world. Well, I'm competing against, men and old records. Old records meaning that they've been there for more than 10 years. Not old people. I didn't say it that way.
And are there, are we talking like dozens of racers or hundreds? Or, do you have any sense of who else?
I would say there's probably in my class, there's probably, 5 of us all together. And it's not a lot because it takes an army and it takes a lot of money to do this. This vehicle is... a couple $1 million worth, and who does that?
Who uses
Smart
that?
People do.
and brave people. Well,
and brave people, yes.
Well, good luck in March, and thank you for taking the time to talk about your story, and we wish you luck.
Thank you. I can't wait to come back and talk to you and share with your listeners our great achievements that we have created in Australia. So.
Well. Good on you.
Good day.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of Beat Check with the Oregonian. Check out my stories on the transportation beat at OregonLive.com/commuting. If you like the show, please leave us a rating and review to help us spread the word. Until next time.